Father, I am drawing a line today, right here, right now, in this prayer, and I am declaring that everything on the other side of this line looks different from everything that came before it, because fear has been running far too much of my life for far too long, and today I am choosing, with a deliberateness I have not always brought to this decision, to stop letting it. The fears I carry are not all the same. Some of them are loud and immediate, the kind that grip my chest and make it difficult to breathe when a specific situation demands something from me that I am not sure I can deliver. Others are quieter, more constant, more insidious, the low-level background hum of inadequacy, of anticipated failure, of the persistent suspicion that I am not quite enough for what my life is asking of me. Both kinds have cost me things I cannot fully calculate. Opportunities I did not pursue, conversations I avoided, risks I did not take, versions of my life that remained unlived because fear made the alternative feel safer than the possibility of being wrong, being rejected, or being exposed as less than I wanted people to believe I was. Today, I am bringing every one of those fears to you, every loud one and every quiet one, and I am drawing the line here. Fear stops here. I refuse to allow fear to continue functioning as the primary architect of my decisions. I have let it veto too many things, too many moves I should have made, too many words I should have spoken, too many leaps I should have taken, because the potential on the other side was worth the risk. Fear convinced me otherwise, and I listened more than I should have, and the cumulative effect of those surrenders is a life that has been smaller in certain areas than the one you designed for me. I am not saying this to condemn myself. I am saying it to be honest about the real cost of fear so that the decision I am making today carries the weight it deserves. This is not a casual commitment to feeling slightly more confident. This is a fundamental refusal to allow something that does not come from you to determine the shape and the size of the life I live. I am done letting fear make decisions that belong to faith. Remove from me every fear that has its roots in doubt, in deep-seated insecurity, and in the distorted belief that I am not equipped for what is ahead. Some of these fears did not originate with me. They were planted by experiences that taught me the wrong things, by relationships that reinforced the wrong messages, and by failures that I allowed to write conclusions about my future that they had no right to write. Pull those roots out completely, Father. Do not simply trim what is visible on the surface while leaving the root system intact to regenerate. Go all the way down to where these fears began and address them there. Replace what you remove with something that is rooted in truth rather than in wound. The truth that I am capable of far more than my fear has been willing to let me attempt. That I am equipped by you for what you have called me to. And that the areas where I feel most insufficient are often precisely the areas where your strength is most available to compensate. Build my faith into something that fear cannot overpower. I need a faith that does not evaporate the moment circumstances become threatening, that holds under pressure, that maintains its conviction when the evidence seems to argue against it, and that continues to believe when belief is the hardest thing in the room. I have had faith that was strong in easy seasons and brittle in hard ones, and I want something more durable than that. Forge in me the kind of faith that has been tested and has held, the kind that knows from experience that you are faithful, even when things feel anything but faithful, that you are present even when your presence is not easy to feel, and that what you have promised is more reliable than what fear whispers in the moments of greatest pressure. Let that faith be what rises in me when fear knocks. Let it answer before fear can settle, and let its answer be louder and more convincing than anything fear can say. Help me to trust you in the specific places where my trust has been most tested and most strained. The places where I prayed and waited, and the answer took longer than I could bear. The places where I stepped out in faith and the outcome was not what I expected. The places where life circumstances taught me that the things I hoped for do not always materialize the way I imagine them, and where that lesson left a scar on my willingness to hope boldly again. I am asking you to heal those specific places tonight, not to erase the memory of what happened there, but to reframe it in a way that builds faith rather than undermining it. Help me to see your faithfulness in those seasons rather than only the disappointment. And let what I see renew my willingness to trust you with the things I am most afraid to hope for now. Give me a boldness that acts before all the fear has been resolved. because I have learned that waiting until I feel completely fearless before I move is a strategy that guarantees paralysis. Courage, I have come to understand, is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move in spite of it. Give me that specific courage tonight, the in-the-moment, actual situation, real stakes kind that does not require perfect confidence before it takes the first step. Let me be someone who moves when you say move, who speaks when you say speak, and who steps into the unknown with the settled confidence of someone who knows that the one who is calling them forward is also the one who will be present when they arrive. Let boldness replace hesitation as my default response to opportunity and to challenge alike. I declare today that fear no longer has permission to occupy the space that faith was always intended to fill. I declare that every area of my life that fear has been managing gets handed over to trust, right now, today, starting with this prayer. I declare that the version of me who shrinks back, who avoids, who plays small to stay safe, is being replaced by the version you always intended. The one who moves with purpose, who speaks with conviction, and who faces whatever comes with the unshakable confidence of someone who knows they are never, under any circumstances, facing it alone. That person is who I am choosing to be. Not someday, now. Thank you for being the kind of God who does not ask me to eliminate fear before I come to you, but who receives me in the middle of it and gives me what I need to overcome it. Thank you for the courage that is already being built in me through every hard thing I have faced and survived, because none of that was wasted, and all of it was preparation. Thank you for this moment of decision, for the line being drawn, for the declaration being made, and for the faith that is growing stronger even as I pray. Fear stops here, not as a wishful statement, not as a polished affirmation, but as a genuine, faith-backed, you-empowered declaration of the direction my life is taking from this moment forward.